Hi there, View of Uranus here. Let's talk. In my last video, that was actually viewed, believe it or not, I talked about gaying up characters and the pitfalls of it, and why it's fundamentally flawed. I guess I have to follow it up by my opinion on gender race swapping. Now, I put in an earlier video that I wanted people judged by the content of the character, not for their physical characteristics. And I talked about letting your characters decide who they are. Get yourself out of it. Let them decide. They will tell you. But now I need to talk about one of the primary complaints that long-term fans have about what is happening to mainstream pop culture. To be very simple, white, straight men are being wiped off the map. Now, Power Dynamics and Progressive Stack, which are the rule books for modern SJW politics, all say that racism is power plus privilege. If you have no power, you have no privilege. Therefore, you cannot be discriminatory or racist. Well, this has at its core a flawed assumption. And that assumption is that only white, straight males have power. So, why are there no moves to make Dr. Doom into a black woman? So why hasn't Lex Luthor been changed into a Middle Eastern transgender? Or why have they not laid a hand on Magneto? Simple. Because white straight males can be villains, and only white straight males. Everything that is happening right now in pop culture, the warping we are seeing in the sacred properties of nerddom, it all goes back to racial politics and the progressive stack. If switching gender and races of characters were the thing they are after, why have none of the biggest villains who are white, male, and straight been touched in some meaningful way? Simple. Because adding diversity is not what they are after. Not really. Well, they are after a complete elimination of white, straight males from the space. And that is why they are insisting that white, straight males sign off on what they are doing. They want them to be okay with their own subjugation and erasure. Well, the biggest conflicts that has happened in the last few years is because the fan bases for nerd properties are primarily straight white males, and originally written by straight white males. And they are trying to change the very nature of these properties by merely erasing the gender and racial differences, and telling us that this is progress. So tell me, since when is genocide ever progress? We're not against diversity. We're against our characters being loaded onto train cars for the ovens of Marvel and DC editorial. If you would allow us all to be in the space of at the same time, then we could coexist. We could find a happy medium. Your characters would not be rejected outright. But you secretly don't think your characters measure up. So you're trying to create a safe space where your characters have no competition. And that's an indictment on how much faith you have in your characters, rather than the validity of ours. If you want diversity, enter the space that exists. Put your characters alongside. Write them well. Show respect to the people who built that space and the fans that maintain it. Come to us and say, "This is my character, who I love, and I think you should love too." And prove it. Instead, you cripple your characters or gender swap, race swap one that is already in the space, erasing their history, and then the fan base that they maintain because of your own jealousy and fear. When Will Smith and his wife complained about Oscar so white, Jamie Foxx, who had already won an Oscar, told him, "If you want an Oscar, act better." Instead, Will Smith's agitation caused the Oscar to institute rules that invalidated their meritocracy for all time. No one watches the Oscars because no one believes the best will win in all categories. Will Smith, even with that lowered bar, is yet to win an Oscar, and he probably never will. Because the problem wasn't that the Oscars were racist. The problem is Will Smith is not a good actor. So when you destroy the meritocracy because you think you are lesser and you're weaker and you have less power, you take your own power for all time. Because if you win with the odds stacked against you, no one can take that away. But if you insist they adjust so you can win, even when you do win, no one cares. Win on merit, not on destroying the game so no one can win ever again. I hope this helps. This is View of Uranus. Have a nice day.